Hey, what's going on guys? Today we are doing episode 18 of the Fortnite Mythbusters. In today's episode, we are going over a ton of myths that contain the brand new Porta 4 item, as well as multiple other myths that I'm sure you guys will enjoy. Before we get into today's video, comment down the total amount of kills you have in Fortnite currently. Right now I'm at 4,398, almost to 5,000, just 700 more kills. What's really crazy to think about is that Ninja has 52,000 kills and he is currently in first place in the leaderboard with High Distortion at 45,000 kills, second place. Also guys, if you do enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, and also if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to turn on post notifications to be notified whenever I upload a brand new video. And anyways guys, without further ado, let's get right on in to today's video. The first myth is, what happens if you edit out the floor or destroy the floor that has bouncy tires on top of it? Everywhere in Fortnite it is impossible to do this, but since the brand new Porta Fort was released, you are actually able to do this if you do throw the Porta Fort to a point where the bottom is floating. In game, when I edited out the floor beneath the bouncy tires actually stayed floating there, but what was really interesting was when I destroyed the floor itself, the tires disappeared. I assume this happened because when the floor was edited, it still registered that a floor was beneath the tires, but when it was destroyed completely, it registered as if there was no floor beneath them, so they were destroyed as well. Later on in today's video, you will be seeing a myth that will actually have the bouncy tires floating in midair with no floor beneath them, so make sure to continue watching throughout today's video to learn how to do that. The next myth was, what happens when a Porta Fort hits a tree? In game, when I tested it out, I tried it with two different trees. I tried it with one semi-small tree and then a massive tree. When I threw the Porta Fort grenade at the smaller tree, what was pretty cool is that the structure that the Porta Fort creates automatically began to build, but once it was fully built, it just destroyed automatically. I believe this happened because there was nothing to hold it up and the tree didn't act as if it was a platform that was connected to the ground, so the Porta Fort began to build and then it instantly got destroyed. When I tried this on a bigger tree, I threw it up towards the top, and when it actually hit the top of the tree itself, or the hitbox, it kind of bounced around then popped out on the back side. So I guess whenever you throw it at this sort of tree, most likely if it will land on top without just bouncing off, it will begin to build the structure just like it did with the smaller tree. Other than that, it will just go straight through till it hits the ground. The next myth is, what happens when you throw a Porta Fort inside of the cave by Loot Lake, or even in one of the mines inside of Shifty Shafts? Personally, I really enjoyed doing this myth. This was definitely something you would never attempt to do in your own game, since it is kind of a waste of a Porta Fort just to throw it in the middle of the mine shaft. To begin, I tried it at Shifty Shafts in the middle of the mine, and when I threw it, the Porta Fort was created. What was the craziest part about this myth is that the Porta Fort structure went straight through the ground, so when you went all the way up to the surface, you could see the top of the Porta Fort. I definitely did not expect it. I did think that it was all going to be instantly destroyed and would just be a box, but this blew my mind away. I then took this to the cave at Loot Lake and the exact same thing happened. This was honestly really cool to see in game, and this is exactly what I was not expecting to do. I just expected when I would throw the Porta Fort in one of these caves, it would automatically get destroyed by the surrounding walls. The next myth is, what happens when you throw a Porta Fort at a player? In game, when I tested this out, we tried it only one time because Porta Forts are pretty hard to find in game, well at least for me. When I threw it at my teammate, it kinda like lagged a little bit on his player and then dropped to the ground and obviously built. But when the grenade did hit his player, it acted as if it hit a wall and it fell straight down, which immediately built it, sending his player landing on the tires, bouncing straight up to the top. This is why I love the replay feature so much, because you could slow it down and you could see exactly what happened. I thought this was really cool to see. I expected the Porta Fort to go straight through the player or not to hit his hitbox. I thought it wouldn't really register the hitbox, but it did prove me wrong. The next myth is, what happens when you throw a Porta Fort at a supply drop? Now, if you guys do follow me on Twitter, you may have seen this clip where I'm magically bouncing on tires in the middle of the sky in Retail Row. After that clip was posted, a few people messaged me how I exactly did this glitch, and surprisingly, it is pretty easy to do. All what you need is a supply drop falling next to you, as well as a porta fort grenade. When you throw the porta fort at the supply drop, when I threw it at least, I kind of got it in the middle of the crate itself and the balloon. When that happened, the porta fort was built, but automatically destroyed everything around it, and the tires ended up floating in midair. Sadly, I have not gotten a chance to attempt this another time to see if tires will float, but as you can see, only one side of the tires were still there, so it might be a lucky chance if all of them get stayed there, maybe even one, maybe all of them will be destroyed. You just have to try it a few times and maybe you will get lucky. I thought this was really fun to do, and I was super close to hitting that no scope. That would have been by far one of the coolest shots I have ever hit. What would that be? That would be like 125, 150 meter no scope, maybe a little less, but still I've never seen any other kill similar to this. I challenge you guys to get a porta fort, throw it at a supply drop in the same area I did, and see if you could get the tires to float. When the tires are floating, I challenge you guys to get a kill, and if you do end up getting a kill and recording it, send it to me on Twitter and I will retweet it. The final myth is, what happens when you throw a porta fort on a supply llama? A funny story, when we tested this out in game, at the very beginning of the match, I found the porta fort grenade and we immediately thought of this myth. We were like, what happens if we throw it at a supply llama? We knew immediately it would take us so long to find a porta fort as well as a supply llama near each other. Alone, the supply llama alone, because those are super rare. There's only 3 in every single match. Right as we said that, my friend spotted the llama from a mile away, all the way from the doghouse in Pleasant Park, and we were able to do this myth for you guys. When the porta fort was thrown on the supply llama, it was only on the corner, but you can see that the walls do not affect the llama. As a lot of you may have predicted, the llama did not disappear. It did not get removed by the walls. Some people may have thought it would have gotten removed by the walls. Luckily, it didn't. I thought this was pretty cool, and I guess when you find a llama and if you have a porta fort and are being shot at, just throw it down and you might be able to open it through the wall. Anyways guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you are new to the channel. Make sure to comment down any myths if you do have any myths for a chance to have it featured in the next or future episodes of the Fortnite Mythbusters. Make sure to hit that bell next to the subscribe button to turn on post notifications to be notified whenever I upload or do go live. I respond to as many comments as possible, and I will see you guys next time.